and welcome back to Stone Soup.
The world according to Sci-Fi Geeks.
I'm still Rhiannon.
And I'm still Sandy.
Today we're going to be talking about shows that we dropped because they are not worth our time or are no longer worth our time. We have
an
interesting list, actually, yes.
We started with Lost. We know that Lost was a monster mega hit. Although they lost a huge portion of their viewers
every year, actually.
Every year, but at the end of either the second or between the second and third seasons, I think it was, they lost 25%. So we weren't the only ones who got a little fed up waiting for something to happen.
You know, we were there for a whole season and a half, and then we decided this is just making us totally ape.
Yeah.
You know, how many murders can there be on one plane? Come on.
Seriously.
You know, various things like that. You know, all these people who survived, not one of them wears glasses. I'm a little sensitive to that because most of my family wears glasses. Most of my friends wear glasses. The next time you're in the mall or the grocery store, look around you and notice how many people wear glasses these days. And that's not counting the people who wear contacts, so you can't tell they're wearing glasses.
I'm sensitive to it because I struggle every day just to read the newspaper. I don't just wear glasses. I wear a contact lens, glasses to read and glasses to see across the room. I wear lots of glasses.
Yes. So, you know, that's not really a huge thing, but it's one of the many niggling things that eventually drove me away. What really hammered one of the last nails in for us is when we happened to read an interview with the creators where they admitted they didn't know the answer, which meant that all these clues they're leaving meant absolutely nothing.
They were going to have to try and pull it all together at the end. I have no idea if they did because we weren't there. The first couple of episodes, Sawyer kills a bear with a handgun.
Which, by the way, is
virtually impossible.
Yeah, almost
he would have had to drive the bullet straight through the thing's eyeball or down its throat to have a snowball's chance in hell of killing it.
Yes.
And he did it with one shot. And then, when they have no food and no source of food that they know of, he left 350 pounds of meat lying there and walked away from it. Probably because the writers had no idea that bear meat's actually edible.
Yeah. Duh.
But you know what? Even if you didn't know.
Locke would have known, frankly.
Locke would have known. But even if you didn't know, you'd check it out.
Okay, you know, I could see that, except for maybe Locke, most of the people there wouldn't know how really to skin and gut an animal to prep it for killing. But you know what? You're hungry enough, you learn.
You will find a way. Moving on.
Yes.
Fringe. We dropped Fringe after 2 seasons. We just lost interest. It just wasn't holding us. We don't know why.
Well, for one thing, it felt like, how to put this, a sloppy redo of the X-Files. And we loved the X-Files.
Oh, we adored the X-Files. I was the biggest Mulder fan on the planet.
It got interesting at times.
Hush.
But, you know, part of the problem was that the science in the X-Files was more rooted in reality than the pseudoscience that we saw in Fringe. You know, I like the characters in Fringe. I mean, Walter needed to, you know, stabilize faster, really. But apart from that, I like the characters. Most of the concept was okay, but it just wasn't very well done.
Yeah, it just didn't seem to us to be very well done. It just wasn't holding us.
Yes. And combine that with the fact it was on Thursday when we had a whole bunch of other shows that were already having to record because we had like 3 shows on in the same hour. So it's like, okay, you know what? This one just isn't holding us that well. Go away.
Let it go.
Let it go.
Moving on. Sanctuary.
Yes. We love Amanda Tapping.
Yes,
we do.
Adore Amanda Tapping. We wanted to adore this show. We really did.
It has a good concept, but again, the writing
just
was a little too weak for us.
It just started to fall by the wayside.
It just didn't
work. And speaking of Stargate.
Yes.
SGU.
Stargate
Universe. We watched the pilot.
We watched one episode
forced ourselves to watch the episode after that. Then we said to each other, we said, we don't like this show.
Nope. We adore SG-1. It's for both of us, it's one of our favorite shows ever.
We talk about it for hours, and it's been off the air for 3 years.
And we still talk about it regularly. We quote it regularly.
Yes.
We liked Atlantis. We didn't like it as much as SG-1, but we did like it. SGU just would,
as far as we were concerned.
I mean, one of the big things is the Stargate program is one of the biggest, most top secret things in the whole freaking world. And they're finding people to help them via video game? and then just kind of kidnapping them when they find someone who can help them. I don't think
and they don't
so.
train them. They just dump them out there without training.
Excuse me?
What?
No.
No.
I mean, okay, they had the training videos with Daniel, which was a very cute thing. But even so, no.
No, not that way.
That just, it makes no sense. It flies in the face of everything that was established in
Now, I
SG1.
understand it got a lot better. And oh, my God. Look what that's doing to that cup.
Ooh, weird.
Never mind. But yeah, it just didn't grab us. We didn't see a single character we thought was interesting, an actor that drew us.
We didn't really like the
Nothing.
situation even.
Yeah, we didn't like the situation.
I mean-
I wondered how they were going to do Lost in Space
With Stargate.
with
I mean,
Stargate. What all
come
you have
on.
to do is walk up, dial, and
Beep,
go
boop, boop,
home.
boop, boom.
So I guess they are someplace where the
They're too far away
DHDs
to
just don't
reach.
work. They're too far away.
Yeah,
they're in a different galaxy, and they don't know what the galaxy is, and they don't have any way of boosting the power of the gates.
But
So-
what they're really trying to do with this, we think, is that they're trying to recapture some of that Battlestar Galactica that they had going. And it didn't really
Yeah,
work.
boy howdy.
No.
Now we're going to go down to here. Heroes.
Yes. We loved
We
that
loved
first
the
season.
first season of Heroes.
The
It
first season was just brilliant.
magnificent from start to finish. Save the cheerleader.
Save the world.
Oh, yeah. It worked. They had
But after
absolutely no
that-
idea where they were going after that.
That's the problem. They were way smarter than J.J. Abrams. They had a full, solid plan for that first season. Unfortunately, by the look of it, they did not have such solid plans for the seasons after that. It just kept falling further and further apart.
Yeah.
You know, the characters suddenly started acting completely backwards from how they've been acting before. And
You got the sense by the end of the second season, if not earlier, that somebody somewhere resented the fact that Hero, Hiro, Hero, was
had become the face
had become
of
the
Heroes.
face of Heroes. Because everybody just adored him because he was having a good time.
Yes.
Everybody else was like, oh, woe is me. Oh, my powers are so terrible. I can never die.
Whereas
What?
Hero was like, I can move through time. Awesome!
Yeah.
You know, he was smart, he was cute, he was funny, and he was the one character that the rest of us could look at and go, okay, here's somebody who isn't, about to slit their own throat.
That's how I'd act. I'd be cool.
Oh, sorry! I would give anything to be able to fly.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, the fact that, he was a big presence in that first season, very important. But in
Yeah.
we were there for like 2.5 seasons, maybe 3. But
Close to 3.
season 2, season 3, his part kept getting cut further and,
And
further
further
back.
back
And his
until he-
powers got messed up. Like we say, one gets the feeling that someone in the crew, or heaven help him, the cast, resented the fact that he's the one who outshined everybody
Everybody
else.
else.
He's the one who was on the magazine covers. He's the one that everybody was talking about.
And it was somebody who could do something about it.
Yeah,
And they did.
it got ugly.
It got ugly as far as we're concerned.
But like we said, the plot line was falling apart. The characters we like best were disappearing. Other characters that we like were suddenly getting screwed up.
Yep.
So finally, we're like, okay,
They had characters doing
forget
things
it.
that were completely out of character that made no sense, and they never made it make sense.
No,
And we
it
were
just
like,
doesn't work.
sorry. And we left.
Remember our discussion about comic books and comic book movies? We like this kind of thing, but
Oh, yeah. We are. Gee,
And
you
they
may
left
have
my
noticed
parents-
that array we had. We love comic book characters.
But you know what? Although I have freely admit I haven't actually read that many of the X-Men comics and what have you, but my parents freely admit that eventually it got to be so much doom and gloom that they left.
Yeah.
Part of the point here is that we want to have fun.
Yes.
Then, of course, how many of you remember the 4400?
4400.
I'm pretty sure that ended a couple of years ago, didn't it?
Yeah, it did. Started out with a miniseries, which
Yes.
we watched. I thought it started out great.
Yes.
But by the end of the miniseries,
Things are already having issues.
they were having issues. The writing was falling apart. And I
Yeah, I'm
was
pretty
like,
sure we saw some of that first season, then went, no. Oops. Doodle.
but I just, and I can't even hardly remember it now. Except a couple of things that bugged me, like
Yeah.
they were going to salt them?
Yeah, seed them. The comment was that
seed them back through.
Yeah. See, these people got snatched up through time. They're supposed to be seeded back through time to help save the world. Except that they weren't seeded. Every single one of them, 4,400 of them, were all dumped in the exact same spot in the exact same time. That's not seeding. Now, we watched CSI Miami for, the first 3-4 seasons. And, we were enjoying it.
And then the writing fell apart so drastically.
God. It
I
just
mean,
became
some of these, the
hideous.
writing just, got a little bit, but in CSI, it got god awful.
Most of them got a little weak or something. Yeah, the closest would be Heroes, and even it was not as bad as what happened to CSI Miami.
It's hard to explain how bad that went. But,
Around the time the character of Mary Saul entered,
well,
is when it
that
crashed
and they
burned.
decided that Horatio's brother wasn't dead after all.
Yes, those two things. They were the beginning of the end for
Yeah.
us. Mary Saul, she was pretty much a Mary Sue. I mean, think about that name.
Yeah,
And
can't
so-
not mention it. Probably.
A previously unknown sibling. Hey, look at that. Very beautiful because the actress happens to be very beautiful. She's dying of
Astoundingly
cancer
beautiful.
when we first meet her, and yet her skin is perfect. Her hair is thick and long and lustrous.
Yeah, she never lost a step.
Mm-hmm.
She had the same kind of cancer that Ali McGraw had in Love Story.
Mm-hmm.
It's the get me cancer, I get more beautiful with every passing moment cancer.
Didn't we wish?
Yeah, don't we wish?
And just basically, she marries Horatio, but then dies almost immediately afterward. Being
I mean,
shot.
they didn't even get home from the courthouse.
Mm-hmm.
Give me a break.
And basically having Horatio start killing criminals. Okay, he was in a different country when this started, and they were shooting at him first. But basically, they
Well, I
started
mean,
going
somebody shooting
way
at
too
you,
far.
You get to shoot back.
Well, yes, except for the fact this one guy was wounded and on the ground and couldn't do anything, and he shot him in the head.
Oh. Yeah, that doesn't exactly make for a good guy, does it?
New. Basically, the writing just got worse and worse and worse. And it broke our hearts. Eventually, we just had to drop it because
Yeah,
it
just
really
couldn't
was
hack
not worth
it
our
anymore.
time. Yeah, we missed Callie. We loved Callie because it was so nice to finally see someone on TV who didn't just work with guns, but who actually liked guns.
One of our favorite lines was from her. Somebody said to her, probably Horatio,
Probably, yes.
"Now, what do you get when you cross a 6-foot man with a long rifle?"
Palpitations, but that's just me.
Yeah,
If
we
she
love
goes into
that.
the evidence locker where you get a gun
No,
to
the
test,
gun locker. Yeah, the
gun locker to test a gun, be still my heart.
And she looks around at all those guns.
But they took that away from her
Yeah.
because so many people complained about how horrible it was to see someone who actually liked those horrible, awful, icky guns. Grow up, people. Some people like guns.
Yeah, and it's not evil to allow that that's the truth, because it
Yes.
is the truth. Ooh, there's a subject for us sometime. Anyway, so we have several more on the list, but they aren't genre. Neither was CSI Miami.
No, but still.
We dropped House.
Yes. We actually
Partly
can't.
of why we dropped House is they kept making him more and more and more reprehensible.
Yeah.
Not just obnoxious, but just bad. And finally,
Yeah,
I don't care how cute Hugh Laurie is. I don't care how wonderful he is. I couldn't hack it anymore.
Shows will fall into a formula. House started with
in-
a formula.
yeah.
We see this person going about their daily life. They suddenly fall sick and collapse. They're in the hospital. They guess. They get it wrong. They guess some more. They get it wrong. The
They
person
guess-
almost dies. They get it right.
They say
Every single episode.
every time. There was
Boring.
maybe. Anyway, so those are some of the shows that we have dropped over the years, and why.
Yes.
I don't know if you'll find this conversation interesting, but we do.
Yep.
Okay. So,
If you disagree, that's fine. That's lovely. You can think any of these shows are absolutely brilliant. We didn't.
Yeah.
And sending us hate mail about how stupid we are for not loving them will just be deleted. We'll be ignored.
yeah.
Remember,
But
always
if you want to
our
write
opinions.
us, if you want to write us an explanation of why you think one of these series is really good and why, without what's the word I want?
Flames?
Without flames, that'd be good. We'd love to hear it. We'd love to read an intelligent discourse on why these shows did not fall apart.
Yes.
Thank you, and goodbye.
See you later.